Well, hello, wonderful students, and welcome to week 6 out of 7. So what we're doing this week is essentially just working on your critical evaluation essay. If you're listening to this and hearing the words critical evaluation essay and you have no idea what I'm talking about, then I would highly suggest starting over here in week 6 evaluation to make sure that you're going through and taking a look at what evaluation is and what the essay overview is, okay? Now, in week 6, this is going to be really, really important because all of this information that you're learning here, okay, is going to end up in your critical evaluation essay. Let me be very clear as to what we're doing here. I would highly suggest going into the actual evaluation essay itself, because what you're going to notice is you're going to see a lot of things that you've already written about in analysis, and that's exactly what you should notice. Because what we're doing in our critical evaluation essay is essentially just taking our analysis essay, copying it, pasting it into a new document, okay? And then we're going to really be applying the information that you learned from this page to the analysis essay that you've already written, okay? Actually, this thing link here is going to help you out a lot to kind of understand what you're doing. But essentially here is what we're going to be adding, okay, to the analysis pieces that you've already written, and just kind of bulking up those paragraphs a little bit to show a little bit of a higher level of thinking. Okay, so if you are a person who does not usually look at the course and just skips the assignments, this is not going to be the week to do that, okay? So you've got to read this over and read the critical evaluation essay overview so that you have a working knowledge of what we're really doing here, okay? You might even want to watch the video about the critical evaluation as well. That might be helpful for you, or set up a Zoom with me or come in my office and we can kind of figure it out together so you know exactly what you're doing. Okay? Now, the other part of the critical evaluation essay is creating new paragraphs that talk about these areas here. Okay? So, not only will you be adding on to your already written paragraphs in analysis, we're going to actually be adding full CSET paragraphs, adding these concepts to really bump up that essay to create that critical evaluation, okay? Now, one of the things that I want to make sure that you're doing is this. Make sure that you are doing the guided notes this week and understanding these ideas, all right? When you go into bias and especially accurate, sufficient, relevant, be thinking about how you can talk about these in your evaluation essay. One thing that I do want to share with you, of course, thesis statements, but this page here actually is a checklist of what you need to kind of do for your essay. So it kind of breaks it down so that you can see, what do I need to change in my introduction? What do I need to change in my language section? What does it need to look like? What do I need to add or subtract in my credibility section, okay? So all of this kind of maps out what the evaluation is so that you can see it in kind of a one-stop shop area, all right? So I would highly recommend going through the week 6 evaluation information, all right, so that you really understand it. The other thing that I would recommend is not just doing the English 101 this week. What I would really, really like for you to do is to also go through the information here in the week 6 area in English 11. Usually I tell you, open up the pages where you feel like you need a little bit of support, or you're getting feedback back and you didn't really understand tone. So you go back into 11 and then revise it. That's a perfectly acceptable way to use English 11. But I would suggest that this week, since the concepts are higher level thinking, we're really building and building in this course, I would go through these pages kind of as you go through each piece in your reading for English 101. So make sure that you're reading over these areas as well so that you can really build the best paragraph and the best essay that you can. All right. So that's my pitch for actually reading the material this week. So let's take a look at what you actually have to do. You have quite a few assignments this week, but all of them build to that critical evaluation essay, which is due here, which would have been basically our last day of class, all right? So you have an assignment due on Monday in English 11. This is called the Revise and Reflect assignment, and essentially what you're going to do is exactly that, revise and reflect. So if I bring this over here and you have a sample to look at as well, okay, I want you to actually take a look at some of the areas from your analysis essay that you might want to change, or you know that you need to bump up in order to get you there for the evaluation. Remember, this course is designed to help you grow as a writer. So this is reflection, just kind of looking at it yourself before maybe even you get feedback on that analysis essay, and really just saying, here are some ideas where I might need to make some changes moving forward. You know, I hit submit, but I wasn't quite satisfied with it. Here are some of the things that I want to do. The second part of this assignment is to reflect, okay? So I want you to actually go back and review all of your feedback from all of your assignments and tell me what do you think you're up to? Where are some areas that are continuously being called out as something that you need to work on? Or are you noticing that something that you did in the very beginning with your summary and response, you didn't get that same feedback in language draft or in your planner? Where have you been making changes? What are some things that you continuously do that you're like, oh, I got to change that for my evaluation? Or is there something that, you know, you've been applying the feedback and you feel pretty good about things? Where else might you be looking then to improve even more? All right. So that's what I want you to really think about. Okay. Make sure that it's in CSEP format as usual. And then you're just going to submit this document on Monday. It's just kind of getting you started and getting you prepared to be thinking about what you're going to be doing for the evaluation essay that's due next week. The other assignment that you have, so let's go back into our course schedule, is a critical evaluation planner. So what does that mean? The same thing that we've done all throughout for all of our essays, okay? So when we look at the critical evaluation planner, okay, this is just going to help you out by taking some of the information. You'll recognize this graphic from your reading, and then it's just going to ask you questions, okay? So now, really, what is this designed to do? This is designed to help you go from analysis to evaluation. So what are these questions, guys? These are your extra tie-ins. So you'll take your analysis paragraph, right, from language and literary devices. You're going to plop it into the evaluation, and you're going to answer these questions, get some feedback, and then just, boop, add it right there to your tie-in for your evaluation essay. So what are these doing? These questions are all helping you to determine whether or not that section is weak or strong, whether or not the language as a whole helped or hurt the claim, and then looking again also at credibility, evidence, and then looking at your secondary article. So all that this is doing is helping you to take that analysis and just bump it up to that higher level thinking that where we should be at week 6. All right. Now, checkpoint 6 is in English 11. So we're going to go backwards a little bit. In checkpoint 6, guys, the only thing that you're going to be doing in that assignment is essentially just revising your analysis introduction, right? To revise it and make it a critical evaluation. That's it. So you're going to change up your hook, you're going to change up your background information just a little bit, right? And then you're going to make sure the all important thing is to change up that thesis. So you have a sample here as well to help you, but essentially all that you're doing here is revising that introduction. Again, helping you build that evaluation essay section by section, right? To really consider, all right, what was my feedback from my introduction on my evaluation, or excuse me, on my analysis essay, and what do I need to do to change it, and how am I going to change my thesis statement? So essentially, you're just rewriting your introduction to revise and resubmit as now an evaluation, right? Submit that. It's one paragraph, and you're on your way. You'll have your introduction for your evaluation essay complete by this point. Go back in. The last thing that you have is a progress check, so don't get messed up by your names, okay? Essentially, this is a planner, and all that this is actually writing part of your draft. So in this assignment, what you're going to be doing is you are going to write the CSET evidence section, okay? You only had one paragraph in your analysis, so what you're going to do is you're going to edit that first paragraph, right? We just talked about that. Kind of answering the questions here, all right? Adding in that tie-in. Then you're going to have a second paragraph, so you'll have a total of 3 here, for ethos, pathos, and logos, which again, you know about because you read it here. And then finally, you're going to have a third paragraph, all under evidence, talking about accuracy, sufficiency, and relevancy, okay? And so you'll know all about that from this page here, okay? So essentially, by the time you're done, what you will have finished is your entire evidence section for your critical evaluation. So by the end of the week, you will have thought about what you need to change, actually changed the introduction, actually changed and written the new paragraphs for the evidence section. You'll be done. And you will have planned what you're going to be doing for your language section and your credibility section. So you guys are going to be in really good position to finish up your evaluation essay, which is due next Wednesday, okay? So essentially, guys, make sure that you are really following directions here. Make sure that you're looking at this sample, all right, so that you know what you're doing. Make sure that you're looking at the grid and the analysis essay overview and all the videos that I post for you, so that you are all set and ready to go, all right? Now, it sounds like a lot, and I mean it is. It's the end of your course, and at this point, you should kind of be in the zone and in that repetitive format where it's planning, writing, revising, and then moving on to your final. So if you need to make adjustments at this point, like, oh my goodness gracious, I'm not quite sure I'm understanding the assignments, if you aren't reading the directions or reading the information or using guided notes or looking at samples, then do that, okay? Because this is where you may get a little bit confused, and I want you to make sure that you're using every single piece of the course in order to help you to get where you need to be. Of course, I'm right here for you. So if you need anything, please let me know, and I promise you I will help you as best I can, okay? So instructor information is where you can find my information. If you have any questions, again, make sure that you go through this with a fine-tooth comb and really make sure that you're going piece by piece through in order to get to this essay that's going to be due next Wednesday, all right? Last day that I accept any work is Thursday, April 30th. So once you get there, guys, okay, that's it. Course is over. So we just have a little bit to do. Just be working methodically every single day on really working on this information in order to get yourself to the planner, read the feedback, and then get yourself motivated in order to complete what you need to complete for the critical evaluation essay. Now, hopefully you've watched this video and you've watched it all the way through, but here's the last thing that I would suggest. I would get this information done early, making sure that you're understanding the assignment for the following week, all right? Because if you're kind of stuck on a Tuesday and then all of a sudden all of my student hours are filling up, make sure that you clarify what you're doing for that evaluation essay early so that you have your goals in mind and you can use this week and a half to really build and use your time management in the best way. Okay? That's Auntie Christina's advice. Miss Terbigus would probably say the same thing. They're both me. But have a great week, everybody. I hope you enjoy this. I think it's such a fun essay because you get to be judgy. It's great. Who doesn't love that? All right. Have a great week, guys. Bye.